Hello, this is California family law attorney and mediator Bryan Ginter, and in this video I will be discussing some of the out-of-court options that are available to you in order to be able to resolve your case and potentially save some money and also have some other benefits. So for example, in addition to potentially saving some money with the out-of-court resolution or out-of-court options, you have the ability to be able to craft your own outcome with the other party, as opposed to having a judge tell you what your orders or your outcome will be. And oftentimes when a judge does that, nobody's happy because the judge oftentimes takes a middle of the road approach and nobody's happy. The other benefit of out-of-court resolution is that everything that you and the other party discuss remains confidential, as opposed to when you go to court, that is a public forum and anybody can attend, anybody can listen. And sometimes, especially in family law cases, there are private details that people really don't want the world to know about. So there's a lot of potential benefits to resolving your case out of court. So in addition to the obvious method of maybe just discussing things with the other side alone without any help, there are a few options I'll discuss here. Two of the options are formal options, and when I say formal, I mean there's an agreement in writing that's signed by both you and the other party to choose these methods. And two of those methods that we'll talk about is collaborative law and mediation. So with collaborative law, I call this a team-based approach because you and the other party must have your own attorney. And depending on who you choose as your attorney, there may be other professionals involved. And so that's why I call it a team-based approach. And one facet of collaborative law that you should be aware of is that in that agreement that you and the other party sign, it says that if the process fails for any reason, then all the professionals involved must be fired, including your attorneys. Now, with collaborative law, you have a series of meetings that you have with the professionals present, at least with typically your attorneys present, until all the issues are resolved, and then the settlement documentation is drafted and then submitted to the court. As far as mediation is concerned, unlike collaborative law, you and the other party do not need to hire an attorney. Although it's optional to have consulting attorneys throughout mediation, the one professional that is required, of course, is the mediator. Now, typically, the mediator is a family law attorney, and that person would have a series of meetings with you and the other party to discuss the case until all the issues are resolved. Then that mediator would be the one drafting the judgment documentation, at least typically, and then submit it to the court for ultimate filing, and then you're done. Now, another option that's a little bit more difficult to explain, and also one that many people I do not feel are aware of, is something called partial service. Another couple of names for that is limited scope representation or unbundling, but I'll just call it partial service. Now with partial service, you would hire an attorney. Now that attorney can be hired as your attorney of record, or you could still be representing yourself, also called in pro per, but with the assistance of this attorney. Now when I say partial service, what I mean is that somehow, some way, the responsibilities for the case is apportioned between you and the attorney. Now, before I mentioned that the attorney may or may not become your attorney of record, I have a lot of people that want my help, but don't want the other party to know that I am helping him or her. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but one is because people sometimes feel that if I was discovered and my client was having my help, then the other side would hire an attorney and then it would turn into this big legal battle. And so I have a partial service arrangement that I have called the hidden attorney, And what that simply means is that I'm the one that could be drafting documents for that person or helping my client with the drafting of documents. And I'm also there for consultations. So if my client needed some assistance, then he or she can call or email me and we can chat about things in their case and maybe discuss options moving forward. I hope this has been helpful. If you're thinking about potentially looking into an out-of-court option, there's more information on our website at ginterfamilylaw.com. Have a fantastic day.